Welcome to the commercial RPR class. We're going to go ahead and go over all of the free features. Yes, I said free. All of the amazing free features that are included within commercial RPR. We're going to go ahead and do a couple of things today. We're going to make sure that we have our settings updated, your photo included. That way, if you generate any kind of reports directly from the RPR system, all of your information is filled out. We're also going to take a look at the commercial site selection tool. I have a couple of cool little searches for you guys that you can go ahead and maybe start incorporating whenever you're working with investors. And we're also going to try to go ahead and knock out the evaluate option, which is included within RPR. Again, evaluate is a part of RPR where you can go ahead and figure out the likelihood on the return on investment for your investor if they were to purchase, for example, multiple units. You can figure out how much they're going to get if they pay in cash during the hold, and how much they would get if they were to purchase also with a loan. So we're going to knock that out right now. This is the main website, miamirealtors.com. From here, we're going to scroll down and then log in via the Miami Gateway. All right. And then we're going to go straight into the RPR platform. All right, if you've never registered an account with RPR before, I do want to go ahead and do this real quick. If you haven't registered an account, what you need to make sure that you do is come down here where you see create a new account. You can look up yourself by last name. If you have a fairly common name, instead come down here where you see email, or if you have your NRDS ID, you can type that in right here. If you don't know what your NRDS ID is, that's going to be located here in your dashboard, located in the second icon where it says My Miami Dashboard. All right, that's going to be right slowly but surely. All right, here, right underneath your name and your brokerage, you'll find it right there. Another good reason why you want to make sure that you have your NRDS ID is you want to make sure, if you haven't already, register an account with the National Association of Realtors by going to nar.realtor after class, or if you want to register an account with the Florida Realtors, you're going to need that ID, and you would go to floridarealtors.org as well. All right. So we're going to go ahead and sign in. I'm going to do that real quick. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started, guys, without further ado. All right. First, as I mentioned, we're going to go into the settings menu in the top right corner. Go into profile. All right. Excellent. And then from there, again, we're going to create a lot of different things today, including a trade area report. So make sure that you have your photo posted here in the top left corner, and your office logo. You can upload that right within this location as well. Now, if you're part of a big brokerage, likely your logo's already set up for you via your broker. Some of you that are maybe a part of smaller brokerages, you would need to go here and upload your office logo there. On the right, we have the account information. If you ever do change your last name, you do have the ability to, once you sign in, you can go right here, update your last name. And then moving down, if you do go from one brokerage to another, sometimes when you go to a new broker, your email address changes. So whenever you sign into the system, you're going to need to use your old email address. And then once you sign in, you can go right there, click on profile, takes you right here, and then you can update your email address. You also have the ability to change your password at any time. You can go right here, enter your current password, enter your new password, and then click on save. It does need to be 7 characters, one lowercase, one uppercase, and then one special character, such as maybe an exclamation mark, asterisk, etc. All right, on the left, we have your contact information. Just come here, double check to make sure that all of your information is filled out. Moving down, we have the next 2 sections, which is your phone number and fax right here. This is going to be the information that shows up if you do create a report within the RPR system. There's a couple of options. We do have work, home, office, mobile, assistant, and if you're old school, we got some hipsters out there. We also have the option for pager as well. You can add multiple numbers. You would just hit add more, and then maybe you want to include your assistant's number. You can go ahead and click on assistant and then input their information right here. You also can include your fax if you do have a work fax, home fax, or other as well. If you do not have a means to fax, I do want to make sure I mention one of your member benefits being a member of the Miami Association of Realtors is you have access to Form Simplicity, which does allow you to send and receive faxes in each transaction that you generate within that system. So we wanted to make sure to mention that. And yes, we do teach Form Simplicity. Matter of fact, I think we had it this morning. If you're interested in the next class for that, all you got to do is go to miamirealtors.com/trainers. Again, miamirealtors.com/trainers, and then go down on the page. Actually, let me just show you. That's going to be a lot better. All right. Again, miamirealtors.com/trainers. Let me go ahead and paste this into chat so you guys can quickly access this link. And then this is what I love about this page. Scroll down. Of course, look at our friendly faces. Scroll down. You're going to see this beautiful green button that says Tech Training Calendar. Click here. All right. Once you do so, it's going to give you all of the free classes that you can take both this month, and we also have February also posted. Yeah, Maria, that's going to be here in your dashboard. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to buy you guys some time so you can sign in. You're going to go to the second icon right here where you see my Miami dashboard. It's going to be the second button. I feel like it's the only one that doesn't move around in the dashboard. All right. Once you do sign in, once you click that button, the NRD SID is right here. It's underneath your name, your brokerage, right there. NRD. All right. Perfect. So we're going to keep going. From there, you do have the ability to have access to RPR on your phone. You do have the ability to have up to 4 devices available. Maybe you've used RPR before on your phone a couple of years ago. Make sure that you always come here and then delete any device you're no longer using. Located right there. All right. Moving over, you can also include your email addresses. As I mentioned, this will show up in any report that you generate. You can select a main, other two, or assistant. Other 2 or 1 would require for you to click the add button, and then you can include maybe an additional email. For example, maybe you have a personal email, maybe a realtor@gmail.com account, and then maybe you want to include maybe your brokerage email as a second form of contact. Just make sure to click on add. All right, moving down, you can also include your website. You can include your office, broker, agent, or other. I would honestly only suggest that you include 1 here, and then I would suggest for you guys to use your agent website, your direct website provided for you with only your information. All right, moving down. For those of you that maybe are members of multiple MLSs, you do have the ability to include those additional MLSs. You would just come here under MLS or CIE. You select the state right there where you have membership. From here, you're going to select the association. And then from there, you input your login ID. What that's going to do is provide you with more market information and historical data. MLS areas, you're going to be able to see historical data. What do I mean by historical data? Previous photos of those properties, commercial properties or residential from past agents. All right, moving down, we have the next section, which is license number. This is where you would go ahead and include your license number directly into the system. You would select FL, SL as your license type, or BK if you're a broker, and then you would put your license number right here. Just the numbers. You don't need the SL or the BK in this section. Moving down, you can have up to 3 assistants access your account as well. If you do want them to be able to have their access, you would go right here, create new assistant user. You would enter their email, their first, their last, their telephone number, your ID. Your ID goes here. And then you click I understand and accept. By creating an assistant, they will have full access to manage the information in my account. Click on create, and then your assistant will receive their login credentials to gain access. You can have up to 3 assistant users. Yes.
Okay. Those assistants, do they need to be licensed sales assistants?
No, you would want to make sure that they have, if they do have a license, it's fine, but it would need to be deactivated.
Okay.
Good question. All right. We're going to keep going. Absolutely. All right. Moving down, we have the next section, which is the news and subscriptions and privacy policy. I know sometimes we don't like to get a lot of emails from folks. However, when it comes to RPR, do turn this on. make sure that you have this on where it says receive RPR updates and news. Why? I love RPR to death, and I mean that in a good way. They constantly provide brand new products, and you want to make sure that you're a part of their email list. That way, if they launch anything in the future, you will be the first to know. Sure. One of my favorite features that they've launched within the past, not this year, but within the past 12 months, is the report writer. It also does reports, and it will create a script for you as well. For those of you that struggle with maybe social media, what to say, you can use the script writer, and it will give you a script via artificial intelligence. And what you can do is point it right in front of you. You can download an app by the name of Teleprompter. You can put in what it dishes out. It's going to give you information such as, and we cover this in the residential side. I'm going to briefly go over it. It's going to give you the active inventory on a given area, their absorption, the percentage of homes that are selling versus the asking price using that script writer. It will give you a script, and not to mention, it will also provide you with a social media post. All you have to literally do is just copy and paste, and then put that right into your respective social media. All right, moving down, we have this part. Just make sure that you go right here where it says, I have read and agree with the RPR terms of use and privacy policy. Once done, just click on save. All right, so from there, it's going to go ahead and save. We're going to go into the next section. We're going to come back to the top right corner where we have the down arrow. We're going to go now into the settings menu. When it comes to commercial, you really don't have to do anything under listing details. It's set up pretty good as far as how it loads the information, but we're going to break this down. Right here where it says residential, whenever you come into the MLS, maybe you do a map search, maybe you're looking at the grid of results of the listings that you found. Brand new listings will have a little blue circle with a little new tag next to it, and it's based on your personal preferences right here. This comes down to how often you use RPR and what you would consider to be a new listing. If you use RPR maybe 2 to 3 times a month, I wouldn't suggest to have 30 days as your default when it comes to the new tag. Instead, I would suggest to use either 14 days, 7 days, or 3 days. Again, this comes down to how often you use the RPR system. What I would want to make sure I mention when it comes to RPR, there's more commercial listings in RPR than in Matrix. There's several providers. They're pulling from multiple MLSs in the South Florida area, but they're also pulling listings directly from Crexi and Brevitas using this system. So I wanted to make sure to feature that. All right, moving down. The next one is set recently closed to. This one, if I remember right, let me actually click on the defaults. Oh, no, yeah, clicked on it. Okay, go ahead and leave it at the recommended. I say this because of the volatile nature of the current market. We went from a fairly extreme seller's market around this time a year ago, and then we started to see rent prices go down. We started to see a whole bunch of inventory hit the MLS around October of this year, and we're still trending that way. There's some markets, for example, like Aventura, where they have 11-month supply of condos over there. I think we're starting to switch gears in some respective areas. So the reason why I'm saying that is it comes down to the prices, right? I would suggest to leave it at 90 days. This can impact your comparables that you run for residential. Leave it at the 90 days. Is how the market was 180 days ago. It's not the current market that we're in now. All right, moving down. I wouldn't suggest to touch the options for commercial. If you do make a decision to make a change, it would be this one right here. Again, this comes down to how often you use RPR. If you're in here all of the time, you could select 14 days, 7 days, 3 days, or 1 day. Again, I want to be very clear. This is how the listings are labeled whenever you're searching for them via the map, the grid, or whenever you have the actual listing pulled up, meaning the property pulled up. You'll have that little tag. Again, this comes down to how often you use it. The next one, I suggest to leave alone because the commercial market moves a lot slower than residential. I would suggest to leave your recently closed to at the recommended 180 days. All right. From there, once you make your decisions, just make sure to hit the save button right there in the bottom left corner. All right. Excellent, excellent. And another reason, excuse me there. All right. The other reason why I like RPR is you have something very similar to Matrix. You have the Market Watch and the Hot Sheet option located within the main page of RPR. This allows you to select your local markets. That way you can see any brand new listings that just hit. You can also see brand new leases for commercial based on the areas that you serve. And you can also see whenever a status changes as well within your markets. We're going to look at that in just a moment. You could add a couple. For example, I added Doral. We have Hialeah. I added Homestead, Brickell, Aventura, Pembroke Pines. You can even add cities, states, zip codes, or neighborhoods. If you just want to focus on maybe a neighborhood, you can add, like I did, Wynwood. In the very least, so that we're all looking at the same information today, come up here if you're following along. Go ahead and type in Doral. And then add Doral, Florida. It's already there for me. Let me go and remove it so that we can do it. There you go. Once you type it in, you'll find it right there. Just click it. And then another one, a really good one to add is also Medley as well for commercial as well. And then maybe Fort Lauderdale if you work out of Broward. All right. From there, once you make your selections, once you add the options, you're going to go right here in the top right corner and then click on Save. When you click on Save, it's going to ask you if you want to return back to your home page. All right, we're going to go ahead and do that now. I just want to make sure that we have enough time to cover everything. This class is normally 2 hours, and then when it's a webinar, we kind of have to speed things up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. All right, so right here is your markets right there. It's going to default to the very first one in your pick list that you have in your settings. What we're going to go ahead and do is move down. Bear with me a moment. There you go. We're going to go ahead and switch it over into the Doral market. All right, and then when you do that, this is what I meant by the little labels, as we can see here. We have all the labels letting us know of the brand new listings. However, something I want to make sure you guys get in the habit of doing. Come up to the top left corner, double check, make sure that you're looking at the correct inventory. You have the ability to switch between residential and commercial. If you click on residential, it's going to change the listings and just show you residential properties. Just make sure that you're following along and that you have commercial selected. All right, we're going to go ahead and move down. I am looking at the commercial market specifically for Doral. There is a total of 7 for sale properties that are available. We have a lot of leases, tons of leases, a total of 19, 2 that are under contract, 2 that have recently sold within the past 180 days. Also, we have closed for lease. We don't have anything at this time. And it does look like within the commercial sector, we don't have any potential foreclosures or any distressed property owners that can't keep up with their monthly mortgage payments. So we're looking pretty good in the Doral area. I'm going to go ahead and switch it back to Doral for sale. And I do want to show you guys that you can click on a property, and then that's going to give you the ability to see the first photo. You can go ahead and click on the arrow, and that'll let you see all of the photos. And it's going to tell you the type of property. This is an active office for sale, priced at $130,000. I would double check that. The thing when it comes to RPR, the only issue that I have with it is it won't exactly tell you unless you go into the property if it's for sale or if it's a business opportunity. You would have to click into it. All right, moving down, it is zone 7100 industrial. We do have the address. It's not providing us with the owner's information, but we are being indicated that there are multiple listings for this property. I'm going to go ahead and click it real quick and show you. Usually what this means is that the agent listed it from multiple subscriptions. This very first listing that we see here is coming from the Miami Association of Realtors. And as I promised, we also get data from Brevitas. The agent also listed it there. We have that ID if we wanted to look it up and get a little bit more information within the Brevitas system. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. And another thing that you can do from your My Markets is you do have the ability to favorite a listing from there. Whenever you do so, it's going to let you know that it was saved in the My Work section, and then you're going to be able to find it under my my favorite. Give me one second. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. You're going to be able to find that directly under my saved properties. Sorry about that. All right. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So that is just a quick little rundown of the My Markets. Another thing that you can do on the go is you can add additional areas that maybe you service. You click on add. That's going to take you back into the settings menu, or maybe you want to edit. Maybe you want to remove some of the areas that you've already added. You can click on edit. And if you want to remove any, for example, come down to Hialeah. If you want to remove it, just click on remove and then click on save from there. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Without further ado, guys, I do want to make sure that we start doing some searches. I just want to show you the quick lay of the land within a property within the system. We're going to come over here where you see type of status. We have the ability to search a couple of different ways. We can look on market, which is the section right here. We can search for sale or for leases, and we can search by status. We have active, active under contract, pending. Hold means that it's off of the market, but the agent knows that it will be available within the next 3 months, probably sooner. I want to be very clear. You can put a listing as hold up to 90 days, but it is an indicator that it is coming back. Closed means that it's sorry.
Is that like a coming soon for residential? Would the hold be the same as a coming soon?
Oh, I love that question. Hold, no. Hold means that it's, I love that. Temporary off of the market is what hold means.
Okay.
You got it. All right, closed right here. Closed means that it's a closed sale. This is how we can maybe run an analysis in the area to figure out the market value of a property for maybe a seller. And then we have the next one, which is withdrawn. Withdrawn means that they do not know when that property will come back at all. Usually they leave it as withdrawn until maybe it expires. Sometimes what happens with withdrawn is there was maybe a falling out. I'm not saying that this is always the case. There could be sometimes a falling out between the actual brokerage and the seller, and then maybe the actual seller doesn't want to pay an early termination fee on the agreement, and then they just write out the length of the actual agreement until it naturally expires, which is that option. We can also search for canceled as well. All right. Moving over, we can search by property type. We have commercial, healthcare, hotel, motel, industrial, multifamily, land, office, restaurant, bar, retail, shopping center, and of course, special purpose. All right, moving over, we can search by price range. We have total price, lot price per square feet, building price per square feet, and lot price per acre as well. All right, the next one is where we can search. Sometimes we have an investor that wants to know the actual building square footage. That can be super important. We can search by minimum and maximum. It does give you suggestions that you can pick from, but you can go ahead and maybe enter an exact amount. Maybe you want to go under 500 plus. You can, of course, enter 300 and then put the maximum right here. Another one is lot. We can search by lot square footage or by acreage. And then we have my favorite button, which is more filters. This will allow us to expand our search and see some additional search filters. All right, so this very first search that we're going to do real quick, we're going to go under property type. I'm going to select all so that it turns off all of them so I don't have to click one at a time. We're going to first look at a restaurant within the Doral area. We're going to do for sale active. But before we do that, let me go down real quick and show you some of those additional options that are available. You can also search for based on the number of units. For example, maybe you're doing a multi-family search. You could come down here, search within a minimum. Commercial, that's usually going to start at 5 units and then up to the maximum that you're looking for an investor. All right, moving down, we can also search using current distressed status as well. We can search for short sales, also known as pre-foreclosures. This means that they're listed. I want to be very clear. This means that it's already listed by an agent where they're trying to help the homeowner sell the property so that they can get out of the property. Short sale means that the homeowner's behind on their monthly mortgage payments. They reached out to the bank. The bank what they did is they reached out to the bank. They submitted a hardship package directly. The bank approved the option for them to sale. And then we have that here under pre-foreclosure short sale, NOD, which is a notice of disclosure. So this is going to encompass the ability to search for short sales, and then notice of disclosure as well as a different type of pre-foreclosure search. That means that they have a deadline that they need to pay before the property is auctioned off. The next one is foreclosure, not an auction. And then we have foreclosed bank-owned REO. That means that the homeowner, unfortunately, or not just the homeowner, but also maybe the business owner, lost the property directly to the bank, and now it is owned by the bank. If we filter this option, that means that it is already listed within the system under bank-owned. The next one, I love this thing to death, but it doesn't work too well for our local market. But you have standard land use where you can go ahead and select the exact type of land use. This is going to be for not just my land search, commercial land searchers, but also maybe if you're looking for apartments, etc. It, again, unfortunately doesn't work very well. This is a nationwide publisher. It doesn't exactly always work if we're looking for land based on usage. Maybe we're trying to find land, raw land that's unimproved, or they can build multiple units. I wish they would work on it. It struggles a little bit, but it's there. All right, moving down. Want to keep going. The next thing that we could do is search by owner name or company office as well. We also have the ability to search based on year built. You can search for new construction space, commercial spaces, such as maybe a brand new flex space in the Doral area or Medley. You can come here and then enter the year built. Another amazing reason why you may want to use year built from a residential perspective, and I don't say this just for RPR, I also say this for Matrix. You can do the same search in Matrix. Is we have a lot of condo buyers that want to make sure that they're not in an older condo. What you can do is come under year built, and then you can enter maybe a minimum year of 1990, 1980, and then you can put in a maximum, and then it's only going to find condos or any kind of structure built within that time frame. We're going to go ahead and create mailing labels in a little bit. We do have time owned. We do find that most homeowners do not want to potentially sell their properties until they've actually occupied or owned the property for a minimum of 10 to 15 years. So we're going to filter using that in a little bit. Moving over, we do have some keyword searches. This is one of my personal favorites. It does scan both the descriptions of the properties and also the fields. If you do want to search for just business opportunities, this is how to do it. You would click on that button. You can also search using any of the recommended options that you see here, or you can go ahead and take a try and type in exactly what you want, and it might narrow down that search just a little bit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and select restaurant bar, and then we're going to move up to the search section. We do have active. I'm going to go ahead and search within the Doral area. That's where they have a lot of good food. I'm going to go ahead and click on Doral, Florida. And then when you do that, it's going to remember the last location that you used to search. Last time I was in the RPR system, I used the map. So always remember, if you don't want to be in the map, maybe you want to be in the list view, just make sure to come over here, click on that button, and then that's going to take you straight to a familiar grid that might look like Matrix, where you see the listings. Another great one that I like is the middle one, the photo grid view. It's going to give you the ability to see the photos of the property along with any registered buyers. Maybe you've submitted this directly to a client. You'll see if you've set that up. I did use this actually not too long ago within a search. We have the second one here, right there. This one's listed at 369. This one's 343 and 330. No, 330.
Okay, Tyson, I'm sorry. I'm going to slow you down just a little bit. You lost me where you clicked on restaurant and bar. Where did you find restaurant and bar? Did you go into the standard land use in order to pull up restaurant and bar?
Oh, no. I clicked on more filters, and then I went right here to restaurant bar. Right there under more filters, and then we go right there to restaurant and bar. It's going to be under the property type.
More filters. Yeah, I'm not finding that. I'm not finding that. Okay, you clicked on more filters, which is up on the right-hand side. I clicked there. It gave me this. I have restaurant, bar, inactive. Aha. Okay. So once I click those two features, how are you getting that pop-up list? Because mine isn't popping up.
Absolutely. So yes, once you type in the property type, once you select the options, your filters, then you come to the left and then you select the area that you want to search. So after I selected restaurant and then active, I went right to the top left corner, typed in Doral, Florida.
Okay. All right. So it didn't pre-fill from before.
Correct.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to go ahead and do a quick little search. We're going to go right into this property right here at 7710 Northwest 107th Avenue in Doral in 33178. We're going to go ahead and click on that listing ID. All right. From there, what I love about this system is it's going to give us a quick little snapshot of the property. We have the ability to see all 27 photos. We can jump from here, or we can hit the little square there. That's going to allow us to jump around. Moving over, we have the next one. We could see it from street view as well. Actually, that's not a very good street view. Maybe it's, yeah, I think that, yeah, it's probably an older Google Maps. They knocked those trees down, I'm thinking. All right, moving over, we have the satellite view. Again, this is not probably the greatest example of this. It would indicate that it's likely new construction. Over here, we can see if the agent also included a virtual tour. It's going to ask you if it's okay to leave the site because it will take you likely to Property Panorama. Yes, it did. Okay. So I do want to make sure to mention as a member benefit, if you guys do have listings in the MLS, you do get a free virtual tour, and it does include the first set of 5 photos. If you do want to make sure that all of the photos show up for Property Panorama, you do have to pay, I think $2 directly, and then they'll show all of the photos as a part of that virtual tour. All right. Another thing that I love about it is the historical option. If you click on historical, you can see any, oh man, this is a good one. You can see any previous photos when it has been listed in the past. So this was listed back on March the 12th of 2023. We can see those photos when it was listed at that time. All right. That is a part of the member benefit. So if you're a member of multiple associations, make sure that you go into your settings and you include that additional information. All right. Moving down, we have the basic facts. It is a restaurant. It has been listed for 114 days. It is not a multiple folio parcel. It does look like it's just one. We get the description of the property, the location on the map. We could jump into the actual map and see a little bit more. Moving down, we have the investment details as well. Right there, it looks like it is an ice cream shake coffee. The financing type, they're accepting cash. Total of employees, there is a total of 4. We scroll down a little bit. We have the property facts right here. If we wanted to make any changes, maybe this isn't a good example. Maybe it's an older commercial structure. There's been any maybe modifications, we can include those here, including changing the square footage. However, this information, if you do modify any of these, only you would be able to see it and save it. Why would you do that? You would be able to submit that information as a part of your report directly to any customer or client directly whenever you create the property report. Moving down, we have the property features. It is CBS construction. We have the cooling information, water, again, number of employees. And if we get lucky, we can also see the tenant history of the past occupants that have been in that actual commercial restaurant. In this scenario, it is new. We don't have anything there, but we do have the ability to add a tenant there. All right, moving down. We have the legal description. We're going to kind of skip a little bit of some of this information. It kind of repeats itself. But moving down to listing history, we can see any changes, maybe a price change, which we do see here. It was listed at $390 and it has been reduced to $369,900. We can click on previous listings. This will show us the previous times that it was listed as well. we have that listing that was placed back in the system back in March of last year. And if we want, we have the ability to also compare records. What I mean by that is you could look at the listing data and compare it directly from the public records as well.
When would we add a tenant? And where would the information populate? Would it populate in an appraisals information, on a tax roll? Will it create a rent roll? What happens when we add a tenant?
Yes, so that if you do add a tenant directly into this section, SMR would have to, I believe they have to validate it. Forgive me, I'm not completely clear on that. I think they have to verify and vet that, but no, that wouldn't backfeed into the property appraisers website. This would just stay within the RPR system.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. Absolutely. All right. We're going to go ahead and scroll up a little bit. And then from there, what we're going to go ahead and do is create a report. We're going to go ahead and create the trade area report. We're going to go right here, top right corner, click on create report. We're going to move on down. We're going to go right here where we see trade area report. All right. Now, this is completely customizable. Why would you create a trade area report? This works very well if you're working with an investor. For example, if you're dealing with a warehouse, right? If you click on customize, there's going to be different sets of demographics that you can include. For example, traffic count. If it's a restaurant, maybe they want to purchase a restaurant, maybe this restaurant, we would want to make sure that we include traffic counts because we want to make sure that it's an area where we have a lot of folks coming and going. So we want to make sure we include that. If it's a warehouse, we still want to include the traffic count. If it's an area of high traffic, a warehouse is going to have an issue receiving cargo in a timely manner. So that's the reason why we would always want to keep traffic counts. But we're going to start back from the top. We have the trade area summary. What this is going to do is give us demographical information based on the folks that live in the area, including jobs, also age information. And we have the trade area, rather the consumer segmentation. What this does is it breaks down each type of folks that live there, also includes the type of homes that they like as well. We're going to go ahead and look at that in just a moment. We also have the consumer segment details. We have the population comparison, age comparison, marital status comparison. I did unselect these, but you can select them if you'd like. We also have the economic comparison, education comparison, commute comparison, home value comparison, that traffic count as well that is available. What we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to unselect home value, education, and economic, just so we have enough time to cover some of these. All right, we're going to go ahead and move down real quick. And there's two different ways that you can generate this report. You have the ability to quickly generate it as a PDF. That is always my go-to. I prefer to email any report that I create with an RPR directly from my professional email. You also have the ability to email it from the RPR system. You would just go right here, enter the email addresses right there. You can, and I did say addresses on purpose. You can enter multiple. You would just put the first email address, comma, and then the next email address if it's multiple people. All right, so we're going to go and click on Run Report. All right, and something I want to make sure I mention, guys, when it comes to RPR, there's going to be a little notification up here. If you have your sound on loud, if you're using a desktop, make sure that you have it turned off because it will make a rather loud noise and it might startle you. So we're going to give it a second. We're going to wait for that trade area report to generate. And as we wait for it to generate, we're going to go and switch gears real quick. Guys, we're going to go ahead and switch over. We're going to go back to property search real quick. All right, and we're going to zoom out. Let me hit that minus sign. All right, there we go. Something I wanted to make sure I showed you guys that is super duper important is a map feature located here under show geographies. I wanted to show you guys the opportunity zone layer that is available. All right. Now, what is an opportunity zone? Opportunity zones are areas that have a minimum of 20% poverty level. These are going to be the areas where the county, not just the county, but also the government wants to see improvements. I'm going to give you guys an example. Think of Wynwood. Wynwood has greatly grown. It now has a lot of options, not just from the residential perspective, but also from the commercial perspective. Why am I showing you this? You have the ability, if you're ever working with an investor, they say, hey, find me a deal, find me maybe a residential property or a commercial property. In these areas, they're likely going to be underpriced. So once the investor does purchase within these areas, they're going to hold on to that property until the area is developed, and then the market value should grow from there. Now, these opportunity zones are typically, as you can see, surrounding airport locations. Let me go up a little bit. All right, we have it right here surrounding the airport right there. However, I want to make sure I mention, because I have to make sure to mention this. Come down a little bit. We're seeing a revival in the Gould's Pinecrest, South Florida area towards the Homestead area. These are also areas of opportunity where they want to see growth as well. All right, just wanted to feature that. And you do have the ability, I want to make sure I mention, you can include this map layer as you're doing searches. I'm going to go ahead and select all real quick. Let's go ahead and do Miami. All right. And then I'll show you guys. Let's back up a little bit. Just be patient. There you go. There you go. And then it'll provide you with listings. These are going to be the areas. You go ahead and add that feature again, opportunity zones. And then these are going to be the areas where they want to see improvement. These are great areas for your investors to purchase and then, of course, hold. Just wanted to share that additional search with you guys. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Just essentially, I'm just trying to buy some time for that report to generate. And as we wait for that report, I think it is done. I do want to make sure that I fit in another excellent option that is available within the RPR system, which is the commercial site selection tool. We're going to go over here to research. We're going to move down to commercial site selection. And then before we get started, I want to make sure I explain what this is. If you ever get a call from an investor, they say, hey, let me know what is the best area to maybe open up a liquor store, or maybe they mention maybe what's the best area to open up a restaurant. You have analytics. We could see how much people are spending on different types of things using this commercial site selection. The first one that I want to show you, I did this search not too long ago. It's one of my personal favorites. We do have a ton of investors. They like to purchase homes and then turn them into maybe rental units. Maybe they want to turn them into Airbnb. So let me show you how we might be able to do that. So if we get a call maybe from an investor that says, hey, within the Miami area, what's the best area to open up maybe Airbnb? So we're going to go ahead and do that search. City, as you guys probably have noticed, when it comes to searching, you kind of enter the location last. You have to start including the filters first, and then you can jump and then select your city, your state, your zip, or your county. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to come under find people using spending and demographic data. We're going to go ahead and try to find the best area for Airbnb. So we're going to go ahead and go right here. We're going to select what they buy. All right. And then we're going to go right into the option housing. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and select vacation homes and then click on OK. All right. Excellent. We're going to go to the top. Let's look in the, hopefully it does it. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see. There you go. Make sure to put a dash. We're going to look in the whole area of Miami-Dade County. We're going to click it. All right. And then from there, we are going to click on Run Analysis. This is one of my favorite tools available. Also, towards the end of the class, guys, do email me. I will put my email into the chat, and I will provide you guys with all of the filters that we're using in order to conduct this search. Now, we're going to move down to geography. There's a couple of different options. We do have cities. We do have the ability to feature by opportunity zones and also zip codes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys real quick the zip code option. We're going to scroll down. And then it's going to give you the area where they spend the most. This is one way of doing the search. It's going to give you the zip code 33109. It looks like that is the top area using the county search. It's letting us know that they spent there is a total of 1,946 on average spent for vacation homes. However, let me go up real quick. Let's move up. What we're going to go ahead and do is go back. I'm going to click on site selection search. We're going to switch it. There's another way to see this. It's going to keep the same filter. We're going to go ahead and switch it to just Miami, Florida. All right. This is where we can see the information just a little closer by specifying a location instead of county. Just clicked on run search and all right. And then from there, when you do that, you're going to have more options. It's going to say you can filter by macro neighborhoods. You can also go through minor neighborhoods and also intermediate neighborhoods. My personal favorite, I'm going to be honest with you, minor neighborhoods. That breaks it down in even more microscopic detail. So we're going to scroll down right there. We have the area of South Grove Bayside in Miami, Florida. Right there, they spend on average 2,376. This would be a hot area for Airbnb located right there. So if we do click it, it's going to tell us exactly where it is on the map. And then we can immediately jump into a listing search by giving that button a click. All right, so that is the first one I wanted to show you. We're going to go back to site selection search. Again, what I chose was what they buy, housing, vacation homes. That's going to be the first one I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to go ahead and click out. All right, from there, again, all of these are included if you email me. Again, I'll put my email towards the end. All right, another one that we can do is we can try to find the area where they spend the most on rent. This is going to allow us to target an area and then maybe try to turn them into buyers. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go back under select an attribute. We're going to do what they buy. From there, under select an attribute, we're going to go back into housing. All right, excellent, excellent. And then scroll down and then select rented housing and then click on OK. All right, and then from there, we're going to search one more time. We're going to go into the Miami area, click on Miami, Florida, and then click right there, run analysis. All right, perfect. Again, kind of play with the options. I do prefer minor, but there's also the ability to switch it to larger areas that will give you different data. But let me go back down with the minor selected. All right, right there, downtown Miami Historic District. Again, this is averages, guys. It's looking at everyone. The numbers would be realistically a little higher if we were just filtering on renters. This is also including people that own their property, which can lower the amounts a little bit, but it gives you a good understanding. So right here, we have the downtown Miami Historic District right there. That is a hot area. We also have the Brickell Village area in Miami. This is how we can figure out those areas of opportunity. From there, we can do a search. I would suggest maybe using Remine or IMAP. We can search specifically within these areas. Once we click on it, we can click on search for listings. That's going to give us access to, let me go ahead and click on this one. It's going to give us access to the zip code. We can circle back to IMAP, do a search for unoccupied, and also in Remind, and then we might be able to get the information for those renters using those platforms. All right, perfect. Let me go ahead and click back. Back again. All right, that is another search that we can do. All right, and another one that I like is maybe we get a call from an investor. They say, hey, what's the best area to open up a liquor store? All right, we're going to go back into select an attribute. We're going to do what they buy. All right. And then from there, we're going to go straight into alcoholic beverages. And then we're going to go and select all alcoholic beverages. Why? I want to make sure that this makes sense. A lot of different options for liquor stores. They always, and maybe they sell wine and also, beer. So we want to make sure that we see all alcoholic beverages. All right. From there, let's go ahead and switch gears. Let's switch to Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to go and select Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and then come on down to the bottom right corner and click on Run Analysis. All right, perfect. Okay. And then from there, minor neighborhoods, let's maybe switch it. Let's try census block. We're getting data from census block. That's another one of my favorites. It gives us a little more data to look at. All right, from there, we're going to move down. We do have this census block specifically in the Broward County area located. Let me move that X. Actually, sorry, let me do that again. That X, it's going to let us know exactly where that area is located. And then they do spend roughly about $2,345 per person. All right. So it's, again, that number just for the folks that do drink alcohol, it's going to be higher, but it's including everyone in specific. All right. Again, what we could do with that is we could, of course, jump into the MLS, or we can jump into RPR and search that area to see if there's any land that might be for sale in order for an investor to, purchase and build, or we can maybe search for business opportunities using commercial RPR or maybe the MLS, and then see if there's any liquor stores specifically in that area. So it works two different ways. All right. So again, we're going to go back to site selection search. All right. Another one that we're going to do, this time we're going to add multiple layers. This one is a classic, if you will. We're going to try to find the best area to open up a restaurant. All right, but I want to show you two different data sets that we can get access to. We're going to go here under select an attribute. I want to show you their income, not just their income, but rather their disposable income. We're going to do who they are. All right, we're going to go down to income. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and select, let's move down, average disposable income. Click on OK. And then that's just one data set. We're going to add another one. We're going to click on add more criteria. All right. We're going to go ahead and select from there what they buy. All right. Dining out. And then all dining out. All dining out. We're going to click on OK. And then we're going to click on run analysis. All right, perfect. All right, so it did default based on my previous option, census block. We also have the minor option, intermediate neighborhoods. Kind of look around until you find the best option. I'm going to say census block might be a little bit better. All right, boom. All right, we're going to scroll down, and then this is going to give us a little bit more information, specifically within this census. They have, a lot of money there. Average disposable income is reflecting $104,075. And then they spend generally on all dining out, $5,740. But what you would want to do is come down a little bit. We do have this census block area. Let me unselect that one. We have this one right here. They have a disposable income of $121,346. And then on average, this would probably be one of the good areas. There's a couple more here. Actually, there's better ones. Let me go down a little bit. We have this area. They spend a lot there on eating out. So we're going to go up a little bit, and it's going to tell us exactly where that area is. This would be the best area to open up a restaurant. All right. Excellent. Just wanted to show you guys these different search filters that are available using the commercial site selection. There are a couple of more. Go ahead and email me. I will get those over to you. Again, I'll get that on. I'll have that added in just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and switch gears. We're going to go ahead and click on reports, and we're going to go straight into that trade area report from here. All right. Excellent. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and click on it right there. And this is what it looks like. This is why we customized our settings. We have our photo, our information. It's going to give us the trade area analysis based on the zip code that I selected, which is in Doral 33178. All right, this is what I love about it. This isn't just for my commercial folks out there. This is also for my residential folks. So this is going to give us the top demographical folks that live in the area. It's going to give us the median household income, 96,254. The median age, meaning the middle of the road. Total population, 69,927. And then this is provided directly from Esri. They're the ones that provide these analytics. It's letting us know the first dominant group is the up and coming families. If we come down a little bit, it will tell us some basic details further down. It will explain in greater detail who they are. All right, so right here it says tapestry segments, up and coming families. The number of households, they do make up 40.9%, 9,020. If we move down, it's going to give you their lifestyle, their sprouting explorers. Moving down, it lets us know the type of properties that they like. This is what I meant by this isn't just for commercial. This is also for residential. So these folks like single family homes. They are typically married couples. The average household size is 3. Median age is 32.1. Their diversity index, which is amazing, 81.3%. The median household income is 89,500. Median net worth is 190,100. Median home value, meaning the homes that are in the middle of the market for Doral, is priced at 277,600. Ownership for this group is they typically do own the property at 74.4%. If it's a lower percentage, it usually means that they are a renter group. We also have the elders right there. They make up 11.6%. They do prefer single family homes, high rises, and then mobile homes or seasonal. Located right here, we get some additional demographics. We have the boom burbs right here, the professional pride, and then the work day drive. That's going to be my group, to be honest, right here. Work way drive. All right. And without further ado, again, unfortunately, I can't spend too much time on these reports. I do want to make sure that I fit everything in. But this is my favorite part. If you scroll down, it tells you exactly more information based on these individuals. So it's letting us know the up and coming families. Again, they're the number one dominating group. And 33178, again, they almost make up half at 40.9%. They make up 2.8% of all of the USA. It's going to mention who they are. Up and coming families is a market in transition. Residents are younger and more mobile than the previous generation. They are ambitious, working hard to get ahead, and willing to take some risks to achieve their goals. The recession has impacted their financial well-being, but they're optimistic. Their homes are new, their families are young, and this is one of the fastest growing markets in the country. Our neighborhood, new suburban periphery, the socioeconomic traits, the education, 67% of them have some college. Moving down, 71% are participating in the labor force as well. We get their marketing profile. This is, again, rich with a lot of great information. Rely on the internet. I feel like we all do for the entertainment, information, shopping, and banking. Prefer imported SUVs. Interesting. Or compact cars, late models, carry debt from credit card balances. Yeah, that makes sense due to student loans and mortgages. All right, so that's the number one group. We also get a breakdown of the elders, a breakdown of the boom burbs, a breakdown of the professional pride, and then moving down the next group, work day drive folks. And then this is where we get the trade area report, where we get commute comparisons. I feel like Doral is pretty much, you can get anywhere, fairly quickly, but it'll let you know on average the percentage of the folks that live there, how long it might take for them to get from their home to where they work. All right, moving down, we have the next one, which is how people get to work. Most of them drive alone, some do carpool, and then some do work at home. All right, moving down, this is the traffic counts. This is again focused on those that again maybe want to sell a restaurant directly to an investor, or maybe someone that wants to open up a warehouse. Again, high traffic is not good for a warehouse area, but it's going to let us know the areas at the most that has the highest amount of traffic. So we have number one here. They do get a total of 105,936 people a day. It is located right here. We have the next area about the same. We have number 3. It usually, hold on, there you go. Now it's starting to give us the addresses. Usually it does. All right, so number 3 is establishing a location. It's letting us know 104,799. And the option right here, which I think we all kind of travel that area, they get a total of 104,799. This would be a great area to open up a restaurant. All right, the next one is number 4, right there at West Dade Expressway to Northwest 132nd Street. It's this one further up the way. They get a lot of folks going through that area. All right, we have number 5 as well, which is not mapped. I don't see it. That's kind of strange. But it's going to give us where it's located. That is going to be, I'm thinking further down, the Homestead extension of Florida's Turnpike, Northwest 124th Street. All right. All right, moving down, it'll also give you a quick little important information based on where this data is coming from. So as I mentioned, the demographical information does come from Esri, a lot of the public records, those do come from Black Knight. Just a great additional page to include to let your investor know where the information is sourced. All right, excellent, excellent. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and do real quick is we're going to run an evaluation on this property that is located within the MLS. Now we're going to find it in RPR. I'm going to show you how we do that. But before I do that, I want to make sure that we look to see if there's any attachments. So I'm going to come over here to the left where we see attachments. See if there's anything there. Yes, there is. All right, we're going to click on that in a moment. But I want to make sure we discuss what this is. It is priced at $3,776,776. This is a total of 11 apartment units that are being sold. So in this scenario, we're working directly with an investor. What we want to be able to do is to let them know how much they might be able to bring in if they hold onto the onto these units, turn them into rental units. How much they're going to get back if they pay in cash, and how much they would get back if they do pay using a loan as well. All right. So what I like about some folks out there that do put in listings into the MLS, sometimes they will include an attachment right here, which will allow us to see maybe some additional financials. Right there, we have it. I'm going to click on it. All right. This is coming directly from East Coast Realty Brokerage. All right. We're going to move down. We have the table of contents. And then we have the executive summary right here. This is going to let us know all of the information we need about these 11 units. They are 95% occupied. The list price is $3,950,000. The suggested offer is the same as the list price. The gross scheduled income, also known as the GSI, is $349,800. This is how much they're bringing in before expenses. That's the GSI. They do have a vacancy rate of costing $16,800 annually. Their total expenses annually is $67,200, giving us a net operating income of $265,800, which gives us a cap rate of 6.73%. All right, so if you don't know how to figure out the cap rate, that's going to be the price, the value of the property, which is $3,950,000 divided by the net operating income will give you the cap rate. You always want to double check to make sure that their math is good. All right, moving down, we have the year built, when it was built, 1965. However, it has been renovated effective last year. There is a total parking spaces. I'm sure that this is off. I'm sure that that can't be the case. I'm sure that there's more. There's also the lot size, square footage, the total building square footage, and then the potential gross and potential net operating income if they were to hand off the property directly to you. That's what they're expecting for you within that first year. That's going to be the part that we're going to double check. All right. We're going to go ahead and move down. I'm going to take this listing number. That is one way to check within the MLS. If you don't see an attachment, you could, of course, move down to the section, financial information. And if we're lucky, we're going to be able to see those numbers, the gross operating income, the expenses, net operating income, etc. All right, so we're going to move up to the top. From here, you do have the ability to quickly access RPR within Matrix and then pull up the record, pull up the listing that you want to do research on. That button is going to be located right here where you see RPR property report. We're going to go ahead and give that a click. All right. And then what that will do is it should take you directly to the property records. Let me try that again. They have been having some listing data issues. They actually had a notice above yesterday. So it is saying undisclosed. It shouldn't be that way unless the agent said not to disclose it. But I think sometimes they're having issues. So just, of course, do a double check. We do have the property address, 1946 Pierce Street, Hollywood, Florida, 33020. All right, it is showing up here. It may not show it here, but just double check there that you have the right property. All right, moving down. All right, we have the fact that it is multi-units. They are selling a total of 11. We have that number here. You do want to double check that. The reason why I say that is whenever you do run a valuation, it might be a multifolio. And then sometimes it's the RPR is only pulling the primary folio. And if you go into evaluate, you want to make sure that you include the correct amount of units displayed within the MLS. All right. It is letting us know that the building quality is C. The reason being for that is it is an older structure. All right. The days in RPR, it has been listed 87 days. The current owner has owned it for 1 year. They did purchase it back November 1st of 2022 at $1,700,000. All right. So we're going to move down. And I want to show you under additional resources, we do have that Valuate button located right here. This is where we're going to be able to figure out the return on investment and provide a professional report directly to our investor. So we're going to click on Valuate. If you've never used it before, I do want to make sure to mention that they do have training videos located right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Continue so that we can get started. All right, a good rule of thumb that you want to make sure that you double check. This is what I meant by RPR can glitch sometimes, at least lately, is because it says undisclosed, it may not select the correct property type. This is where we don't want to have it show other. We want to click on it and then click on multi-family. That is the correct option. All right, from there we have the property name. Right here, it's going to pull it directly from the address. And then we can include a scenario name. So this is where I would suggest to input your investor or investor's name or their LLC, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and say in this situation that we're working with Michael Jordan. All right. And then we have the square footage. It's going to pull in the purchase price directly from the listing. But for educational purposes, I want to make sure I mention you have the ability to modify the purchase price. Maybe we offer instead, let's see, $3,770,000 instead. Again, this whole section is modifiable, as you guys can see. All right. Moving down, we have the number of units. We do have all 11 registered. Just of course, always double check this. Again, if it's a multifolio, you're only going to get the first folio and then all of the units established from that record. Moving down, we can enter the gross potential rent, how much they're bringing in. This is going to be the GSI, their gross scheduled income, which is located here under financial information. All right, so we're going to go ahead and select the $299,200. All right, we're going to click on enter. And then we have the total operating expenses and reserves. That is going to be this amount right here, which is $57,200. Now, do me a favor, guys. There's a couple of things that you want to make sure that you keep in mind. For example, maybe we need to have someone manage these units yearly to make sure that they're upkept. Maybe we need a manager. So always consider maybe 10% off of the purchase price in order to pay someone to, of course, keep these units good to go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and in this scenario, we're going to act like we're going to be the investor. We're going to be the person that is going to go ahead and make sure that we renovate the properties directly so that we don't have to necessarily pay. So we're going to go ahead and select the expense amount, which is $57,200. I'm going to go ahead and enter that here. All right. And then click on enter. All right. Then I don't suggest to touch this RPR. They do suggest that you leave this alone where it says annual income growth rate. The system is expecting you, as you hold on to the properties, to raise the rent generally at 3% each year. But you can, if you want, you can modify that as far as a projection. Moving down, we have the next one, which is fiscal year one begins. This is going to be exactly when our investor decides to purchase. So I'm going to say in this example, March 1st of this year, we have a holding period, how long we're going to hold on to the property. I'm going to go ahead and select the default of 10 years, but you can do up to 2 years. I mean, a minimum of 2 years. Moving down, we have the loan to value percentage. This is what I meant by we can go ahead and get an estimation if we were to purchase using a loan. I'm going to go ahead and say for this example, we'll do 50. We'll do 50% cash down with a 50% loan. Interest rate. I wish this was the case. There's a lot of services like RPR and Remind that really need to update their default value that they enter. I'm going to go ahead and switch this one. For this example, we'll do 8.5. Click on enter. And then number of equity players. This is going to represent how many investors are going to purchase. I'm going to go ahead and say 1 and then click on submit. All right, there you go. Excellent, excellent. And this is, again, I always say this with this class. When I teach this, this is going to give you the best case scenarios. We still have to enter some additional details, including how much it may cost for us to purchase. We need to enter, of course, compensation information, closing costs. We're going to do that in just a moment, but I want to make sure I explain what we're looking at here. We have the unlevered. Unlevered means if we were to purchase with cash. Once we hold on to 10 years, we're looking at $3,063,043 with an average cash on cash of 7.85%. All right. So what that means is if we do purchase the property roughly around their asking price at $3,770,000, we're going to get close. We're not going to get too far off. That means once we sell it, we're going to have a lot of return. We're going to look at that further down on the page, but they're looking pretty accurate. They said something like 6.5% as the year one cap rate, as you guys can see. But let me make sure I come back to the top. So unlevered means if they purchase with cash. Levered means if they purchase with a loan and how much they're going to get back, which is $1,579,526 with an average cash on cash of 11.66%. Moving down, we have the unlevered summary. This is if, again, they purchase in just cash. We also have the levered analysis. I'm going to go over that in just a moment as well. So it's going to give us the cap rate. Again, this is the projection if we do increase the rental prices by 3%. All right. So if we were to sell the property at year 9, we're looking at 8.66%, and then year 10, 8.91% as our cap rate. Again, I want to be clear. This is the best case scenario. We still have to make some modifications. So we're going to come down to purchase price. They did say, again, a total of 11 units. The number of parking spaces, they did say 4. I'm sure it's more, but we're going to go ahead and put 4, unless there's like curb parking. That might be the case. Moving down to occupancy, they did say they were 95%. Whoops, 95% occupied. Again, this is going to give us, at the time that we purchase, we have the purchase price, the price per square feet, the price per unit, and our year one cap rate. And if we were to sell the property at year 10, our sale year net operating income at $344,900. And then once we sell it, the person that receives it, they're projected to make $356,963 that first year with a cap rate of 8.91%. And again, as I mentioned, we do need to be, honest, if you will. Let's go into purchase sale. That's the next section we're going to go to. And let's go ahead and enter some additional details. We're going to go under closing costs. I'm going to say it's going to cost us $150 as the closing costs. Capital reserve escrow. This section, I want to make sure I explain what it is. This is where you can set aside a budget in order to renovate the properties that second year. So I'm going to go under capital reserve escrow. Let's go ahead and project. Again, this is for educational purposes. We're going to say for the capital reserve escrow, we'll hold on to, that's a little high. We'll do 50,000 and then click on enter. And as you enter numbers, you're going to notice that your levered and unlevered numbers are changing. Moving down, we have the equity debt broker fee. We're going to do the 6% for compensation. Then we have recording fees, miscellaneous, and transfer. Ballpark it a little bit. And then there we go. This is where we're being more honest. Right there, we have the unlevered, how much we bring, how much we're going to bring in if we hold for 10 years, pay with cash, 2,561,443. If we do take on that loan, 1,061,051. All right, excellent, excellent. All right, another way to look at this information is under cash flow. I'm going to click on cash flow. I did get this question the other day for the sake of the class, just to make sure that we don't go over too much. I do want to make sure that I mentioned that you can enter some additional information under rent growth during vacancy and renovation. You can project maybe you're making the units a lot better. Maybe you're adding OLED TVs, etc. You can include how much that would be able to potentially bring in. You can also select under renovation details how long these units will be down. It will provide you with a projection, how long these units are going to be unavailable. You can also select an average duration. What I wanted to show you, if we scroll down, you also have the ability to itemize as well income. For example, if you pay for parking, if there's any late fees, termination fees, other tenants, laundry, for example, if you have laundry machines, application fees, other miscellaneous, cable, retail, right here. Right, that's going to usually be within the fees in order to rent. All right, moving over, we have the estimated year one expenses. You can itemize them if you want. We did it in bulk under miscellaneous with the 57,200, but you can itemize them individually if you'd like. All right, moving down, we're going to keep going. What I wanted to show you guys slowly but surely is the levered cash flow towards the bottom. This is, again, another way to look at it. It will provide us with that performance, bringing in, if we do go ahead and purchase with a loan, and it's going to let us know that year two, that it is set to refinance. The system does provide you with a projection. If you do refinance, we do have that statistic here. However, if you do want to change the refinancing period, if they do take on a loan, that's going to be located here under source of funds. I'm going to click on that real quick, source of funds. And then, for example, like I mentioned, it does set a refinancing option 2 years out. If you want, you can change it. For example, maybe they want to refinance at month 60, and then maybe at a different interest rate. Again, I can't project. I don't have a magic ball, if you will, but we'll say something like maybe it goes down to 4.8 as an interest rate. The whole goal is to show you how that changes your levered analysis, as you guys can see right here. All right, another one is rent roll. I just want to feature this real quick. You do have the ability to itemize each individual unit. If they're not all, for example, 2s, maybe you have a couple that are 1s, or maybe some of them are studios. You have the ability to enter the unit number, that classification. You can also enter the features, the square feet, if they're occupied or not. So it works great for a project manager directly, so that you can include the monthly rent located right here. All right, if you do take advantage of this option, you do have the ability to edit it in Excel or export directly to Excel. So there's two different ways to access this data. All right, perfect. I'm trying to think what else have I. Oh yeah, the next thing to go over real quick. There's not much to do, but we have levered analysis. The home menu gives you the unlevered summary. Levered analysis will provide you with the report if they were to purchase using a loan. So we have the transaction capitalization. Right there, it's letting us know at year 5 because we did modify under source of funds a refinance option. So we do have that loan that reset right here at 68.07%. We also have the levered analysis, the cap rate if we do purchase directly as well, and the source of funds. All right, if you do want to share this, there's 2 different ways to share this with a potential investor. You have the share button right here. I've ran out of links, unfortunately, but you have the ability to provide a link directly to your client. You would click on share file. Oh no, my links are back. Hey, I got my links back. All right, so I'm glad that worked. You can share this link and then you can have them start on they're going to be able to access all of it, but you can have them start maybe on the home page, which is where we started, but they're going to still be able to jump between each section. This is more of an interactive way to provide it. You can hide the purchase price if needed. You could turn that off. I wouldn't suggest to do that. Your investor wants to be able to see everything. I would say leave that on. Again, this is one way to do it. Right. Another way to do that is another way to share it, I should say, is to go under File and then go down to Export, and then you can export the actual report as a PDF or as an Excel or as embedded code. I'm going to go ahead and click on PDF, and you have the ability to create 5 of these reports. I do want to make sure I mention after 5 you have to upgrade, but I'm all about free. In order to never have to pay, what you want to make sure that you do is come over where you see Evaluate, go into Manage Files, and any past report that you've created, you can delete them. Again, you could get up to 5 for free. Again, how did I do that? Evaluate, Manage Files, and then you can delete any records that you want. So let me go ahead and show you that report that we just generated as a PDF, guys. I'm going to go ahead and open this up a little bit. All right, and then here we are. Here we are. We have the report and analysis. Let me get a little closer. This is going to give them all of the information that we were looking at earlier, the unlevered analysis, the cap rate if they were to hold onto the property based on that 3% bump in rental increases at the point that they do purchase, the investor, the square footage, the purchase price, the occupancy, their year 1 net operating income, and at the point that they do sale, ending with a sale cap rate of 8.90%.